All right, let's go. Huh? Everybody wake up. Wake up. It's time to shovel the snow. Huh? It is, what is that? I want to get, is that 16 or 18 degrees outside? It's 16 degrees. Somebody come shovel my driveway. Huh? Because we all know Kyle ain't going to do it. That's for sure. Jeez. Even my sister got snow in Pensacola yesterday. They got a good amount of snow too. And it's stuck overnight. They don't have to go to work. They're having a party out there. Let me tell you. She she's a librarian out there at the college. I think it's UF, and I think that's the one. I think it's UF. So hey, Meadow. Yeah, no, Kyle did a good job. It was the best we could do. Um, the schedule just got kind of wonky because it ended up my ex just came and got Matthias because she didn't want. I think she just wanted to take the day off of work. She said she didn't want me driving him at night, which makes no sense. I think she just wanted to have a reason to take the afternoon off of work to come get him. So that's fine. That's 2 hours less on me. You know what I mean? So the schedule got a little bit screwy because I had meetings, like I said. We're going to have a sponsor. I can't give it away yet, but within a week or two, we're actually going to have a sponsor, but it's going to be on the recaps. I'm finally going to have to bite the bullet. I'm going to put the ads, I think, right after the pregame segment before the rest of the game goes. Silva says, saying slump is over because we beat Anaheim is a bit premature. I'm talking about for Hagee and Bennett. Because I think I made it slumps plural. Did I make it slumps plural? Yeah, slumps are over. I'm talking about for Hagee and Bennett. That's what I was referring to there. And I just would like to I would just like to acknowledge once again that it was Mackie Samoskevich that got Verhaeghe and Bennett out of his slump after I've been pounding the desk for weeks to put him with players that could put the puck in the back of the net. Finally, it happens. I guess he was in the middle of a shift change between second line and third line. That's how he ended up on the ice with Verhaeghe. So I say Bennett, Verhaeghe, Samoskevich. Right? That's what I say. Barkov, Reinhart, Kachuk, Bennett, Verhaeghe, Samoskevich, Lundell, Luosterainen, Bolquist. Somebody else other than Nosek, Greer, and Erod. Yeah. So it says, not definitely Bennett yet, but Swaggy, I believe is. He looks like his normal self again. Now put E2 on the first and Swaggy on the second. No, I just gave you the lines. Bennett, Barkov, Kachuk, Reinhart, Bennett, Verhaeghe, Samoskevich, Lundell, Luosterainen, Bolquist, Nolachari, Greer, and Erod. I think that's where we'll go. Yeah, I agree. Bennett doesn't look happy. Is it just me? Or does Bennett look like sad? He looks unhappy. I mean, I guess it could be because of the slump. Yeah, Samuel had 2 nice assists. Yes, he did. Great White says Maurice never starts night after a Bob win. He says he never starts night after a Bob win. Never. If he does, I'll give Josh $200. I think it's going to happen. It's got to happen because it's back to back, right? Right? Silva says the first has to be Barkov, Kachuk, E2, banish Reinhart back to the third. Now I know that ain't serious. Craig says, no, he's just low key. All right, I'll take your word for it. Stevens got the projections after last night. Toronto 106, Florida 101, Tampa 94, Ottawa 91, Montreal 91, Boston 89, Detroit 82, and Buffalo 72. Yeah, it's tight. It's super tight. Let's see. No, I said NHL standings. Metal says he looked relieved. All right, I'll buy that. Greg says Pomo has been chatting up Mackey and Bennett. Right. So Bennett can mentor him. Hey, that's true. That's true. Silva says if this was 20 years ago, we'd be arguing about if Nosek was a good second line center or not. Amen, brother. That is so true. Oh my God. If this was 20 years ago, the top line, I can't even say it would be Lundell. But Nosek would maybe be the top center. At least the second line. Now you're paying them the same amount, right? Steven says, "Oh, poor E2 defend with no finish, another breakaway last night blown." I know that I love the dude, man, but he's got to finish. If he could finish, right? If he's a Finn that could finish, you see what we're doing there? Hey, JC, how you doing? Thank you, Great White. Thank you, buddy. Much appreciated, Great White. Thank you, my friend. Hey, JC, Kyle's got the ring. It is. I love it, and I'm going to wear it certainly during the streams. It feels awkward wearing it during the recap. I'll keep it on, but I feel like, because I move my hands a lot, and it feels like it's not loose. I know it's not going to come off because when I take it, I have to pull it off. But it jiggles just enough to make me feel like I'm going to send the thing flying. So I got to get used to wearing it. But thank you again, man. That thing is awesome. Metal says Nosek had like 3 goals in the Stanley Cup Finals in 2018. I want that guy. Yeah. Silva says, am I repeating what my college girlfriend said to me again? I didn't go to college, man. Well, I have an associate's. I didn't go to college. I have I went to a place that gave me an associate's in massage therapy for whatever that's worth. Use it as a necklace. I already have, though. I can't. I already got my jingle bell as my necklace. So no, I'll keep it as a ring. Frank says, "Gotta say, E-Rod should stay in the 4th line. Feel bad for him, but it's working. It is working. I agree. Now, I wouldn't be surprised, though, if at some point, I don't know. I think when they originally moved those lines around, I think the initial, plan was to put Verhaeghe back up, on the second line at some point. But it's working, and especially with the way Samoskevich is playing, Bohlquist is playing, and like you said, Erod, it's just working. The only one that it's not working for is Tkachuk, right? Yeah, Erod is very versatile. Yeah, Dog says so. It turns out all it takes for Bennett to score was you going to sleep early. Hey, Chopper, how you doing, bud? I mean, the more that these guys are playing together, I really like the forward group. And I really don't think – I don't know when Ekblad's coming back, but, man, I hope they don't waive Bornfoot because all 31 teams are going to pass. You know what I mean? I'm not so sure that every team in the NHL would pass on him right now again. I don't know, man. Considering our depth issues and the cap issues and all of that, I think we need to keep him, even if he's not going to play, we need to keep him on the roster. I don't, we're getting close to that time of the year. I think it'd be a bad move to try to wave him through now. Yeah, Chopper says, Swiggy stopped taking swigs for once, right? Yeah, he's got to get one more. But he did look like himself, right? He did look like himself after that goal. He was really flying around, which is why, I mean, can you imagine the speed and the energy of Bennett Samoskevich for Verhaeghe? Just saying. Maybe Maurice will do that. Someone says Erod has no more development to do, and Mackey does. Both of them do the same thing for the fourth line right now, but Mackey has more potential. Right. Yeah. Yep. Agreed. Exactly, Craig says all the line mixing now means they're building chemistry. Remember, by the time we got to the playoffs last year, the lines didn't matter because everybody had played with everybody. That's a good point, Craig. Steven says I'm a wrecked unit today at work. Tomorrow is going to be that much worse. Yeesh. Either that or they got him a bionic eye, Chopper. Right? I know. It says Maurice is going to give them their hardest practice ever. How dare they not win the game 1-0? I know. But look, we did. You see what the team did. You see what Bob did there. At first glance, I was kind of upset that he allowed that second goal. And then I realized the anger that Maurice would have exhibited had they gone into the end of the first period with a 2-goal lead. That can't happen. That's not going to be allowed to happen. So Bob let the second goal in, so it would be a 1-goal lead again. Ray White says, Rhino's on a roll. Would I give him the MVP this year? I mean, I know he's never going to get it. If he would have kept his pace, from earlier in the season, I think there would have been no choice, right? He's going to get votes. He's not going to win. They're just never going to give it to a Panther unless, the second coming of Pavel Bure happens. But he should get votes. Nearmax says Bornford doesn't need waivers to be sent down. I've heard, and then Frank says I'll put Boquist on waivers before Bornfoot. So he's waivers exempt? I guess so, yeah, because he had those NHL games before. Right. No, that would mean, well, I'm not looking it up. So if you guys think he doesn't need to clear waivers, I know earlier in the season I thought he did. I still think he needs to stay and play, though. You know what I mean? Reese at least is giving Mackey more time. That's all really matters. I'd rather Mackey have 10 games with Bennett and Ito on the second than 4 games with Swaggy and Bennett on the second. Yeah, him getting that ice time, and it's really helping. Hey, Kenneth, how you doing, bud? Yeah, I got enough of a nap yesterday. I feel okay. Sometimes the late games, if I only get like that 4 or 5 hours of sleep, I do okay. Put Schmidt on waivers. They ain't going to put Schmidt on waivers because Reese is going to – you can just consider Schmidt I'm hoping he's the off-the-bench guy come the playoffs, right? Julian says, Swaggy, Kachuk have been underwhelming the whole year. Shifting of the lines has caused other players to go up and down. And at this rate, Jesper should be on the first line. Yeah, Kachuk around says, night tonight against a real offense is a real test. Right. Silva says, we claimed Bornfoot from Vegas waivers, and Vegas claimed Denisenko. Who got the better deal? I believe we did. I believe him will bear out that we did. I do. Is Denisenko still – is he still in the AHL somewhere? Julian, I certainly agree that Kachuk has been underwhelming. He's not, to be honest with you. When I watch him, I know how it sounds. There goes the internet. There's too many times when you watch everybody else doing the work in the corners and he's just hanging out. He's hanging out on the other side of the ice in the circle, just waiting for somebody else to do the work to go get the puck. He doesn't have a good enough shot to do that. He needs to be doing the work, Yeah, Bornfoot almost had a goal last night. Balinskis did. No, I mean, these last couple weeks, my concerns about what we need to get at the trade deadline have really waned. They really waned a bit. I don't really want to. I mean, the forward group, other than Nosek, other than Nosek, that's the only guy that I would want to mess around with. If you could upgrade over him and have him be, just solid depth off the bench, I think then we'd really be in good shape because we have so many guys that are so versatile. Erod, Samoskevich, Boquist, Reinhardt, right? I mean, you could put them anywhere. I can't think of much more that we would really need. Anybody that I would want to move off the ice to bring in a new guy. Julian says, you can say Swaggy as well. New contract and hasn't lived up to it. I noticed Matthew hasn't been the same since the Vegas series. Yeah, Tkachuk has not been the same. Now, he's still capable of playing better than he is. There's no doubt that he's capable. But if he only wants to do it in the playoffs, I guess that's what's going to happen. Yeah, like Chopper saying, if Chucky coasts the rest of his career and only lights up in the playoffs, do you think we should keep him around? Because to me, I think he's going to be a Panther for life. If he's going to light it up in the playoffs, that's it. You know what I mean? And look, you have to look at it, and I'm not making excuses for him. But remember, when we first got him, he was flying around hitting everything that moves, right? Then it kind of got slowed off. Then his dad called the team soft. And then Tkachuk was an absolute maniac from that moment until he broke his sternum. You know what I mean? He was an absolute maniac. There's no way you couldn't pay me to believe that he started last season 100%. He should have never been on the ice. He should have been out for half of the year, resting, continuing to recuperate, and building some strength up. So there's no doubt that I think coming back from that injury as quickly as he did had a little bit of a long-term effect. He did have a good offseason this year. But I honestly feel like his attitude at this point is singularly focused on saving every ounce of energy to try to win the cup again. And I can't fault him for that. You know what I mean? Julian says we'll probably get blown out. Kings are playing some of the best hockey, and we're not unless Swaggy scores. He did score last night, Julian. He did score last night. Gary White says Ekblad's out for 6 games. Is he ever coming back? I don't know. At first it was, we joked about it, but then it's happened. We joked and said that he's going to go from day to day to week, and now here we are. They say he might come back on this trip. Let him rest. Can I say, would I trade Giles for an older, healthier scratch if injuries happen? Oh, I don't know. I don't know, Kenneth, because I think Giles has the potential to be 4C of the future. Because I don't think they want, I don't even think Sordif's a center. I think Giles has the potential to be 4C in the future. I think that's a chip we need to hold on to, especially when you look at where we've been. Every year we rotate. When was the last time we had the same 4C 2 years in a row? Would that have been McKenzie? Is Derek McKenzie the last time we had the same 4C 2 years in a row? Because it seems like, at least since the President's Trophy season, every year it's been a different guy. I think they would like to maybe solidify that a little bit better. Yeah, Julian says Tkachuk is a Panther for life. He elevated Barkov's play and changed the mentality for the whole team. Yeah, I agree. Greg says the Kings got smashed 5-1 by the Pens. They might be pissed off. Silva says next year Mackey needs to be a permanent second-line player. Sordif needs to be on the third, and Giles needs to start the year on the fourth. Silva, I think Mackey might permanently be a second-line player now. I don't think he's going off. I can't see any reason right now why we would move him off of that second line. I think move Behagi back up. That's what I think. Put those two together. Meadow says Nosek, Boquist, and a pick for Stedlin and Kesserling. Boy, that's a lot. I hate to lose Adam Boquist, but as long as we got Bornfoot, Balinskis, I mean, we're going to have a different team here. But within 2 years, we're going to look around and, we're going to have our core guys. But there will be, especially on the defensive end, some changes. Vincent says Mackey is a top 6 player, but Sachin next year will take the world by storm. Hey, look, the more the merrier. The more the merrier, right, Vincent? It's a good problem to have. It's a good problem to have. And when you start to look at some of these kids that are coming up and you see how Zito did it, he took the car and he fixed it up with the spare parts from other places like Rodriguez, and Forsling, and Reinhardt, and Bennett, Verhage, Kachuk. Jeez. And then now you got these draft picks starting to come in behind them where we won't have to be digging off the waiver wire and free agency and trades as much. We'll actually have some homegrown talent. Hi, Rick. How you doing, bud? Julian, trade deadline is March. I think we've looked at it March 7th, March 4th or March 7th. Maryland is cold, Rick. It's 16 degrees, buddy. And we got about 3 inches of snow on the ground. What's that? I don't want to answer that. I'm sorry to hear you're meh, man. I hope it gets better for you. I have my own days where I'm meh. We all do, right? Shopper says the day the Hunter St. Martin hits NHL ice will be the day the NHL gives us the cup on the first day of the season. Hey, True, you were having a crazy dream? Don't tell Dee. We won't tell Dee, man, all right? Just keep it. Don't tell anybody. I know, Julian. My sister lives in Pensacola, and she sent a bunch of videos yesterday where they were getting snow. Great White. I think Spencer's staying. We have to keep him at this point, Great White, because we've already lost so many players because we kept him. And look at how he's playing, right? I mean, if he's able to continue to develop and become the dude, you're talking about another 10, 12 years, 10 years, right? 8 to 10, whatever, of elite goaltending. I don't see any reason why we would want to move on from him. John says, I'm the coach tonight, Jaws. You're my 4 starting lines and why. That's Barkov, Reinhardt, Kachuk, because then it's Bennett, Verhage, Samoskevich, Lundell, Luosterainen, and Boquist. And under protest, I have to put Nosek out there at 4C because we don't have anybody else. And with Greer and Erod. Give me a Nosek replacement at 4C and send me into the playoffs with that forward group. And I'm good. I'm totally good. Because with that group, if for some reason Mackey can't handle it on the second line, you move him back to 4, you put Erod back up at 2, and we're good to go. Thank you, Great White. Thank you, buddy. Thank you, Great White. Thank you, bud. SoFlo, did talk to text get you, SoFlo, or did you mean to say it that way? He says, I like the no sex line. Did talk to text get you? Either way, good job. Vincent says night is perfect for a trade for the Canucks for 3 firsts, Lankin and Garland in a third. Oh, man. Thank you again, Great White. SoFlo, that's great, man. Either or, whether it was accident or on purpose. I like the line. I just wish Nosek was better. I'd like it better with Stenlin. I would like that Stenlin, Greer, and Erod as your 4th line. You see what I mean? That'll win us another cup. Because we do have a tendency to struggle with possession or gaining possession in the defensive zone in that fourth line. We need more, we need him. We need Nosik's faceoff percentage to be closer to 52, 53, not where it's at right now. But look, we're the Cup champs, and really the biggest complaint we can come up with is 4C. So let's just take a moment to acknowledge that through all of this, the biggest hole that we can think of, or the biggest complaint, which isn't a huge complaint, he's adequate, is at 4C. That's pretty good. So those that Stenlin was such a beast. I know, man. It's just such a shame. Yeah, and 58 says it's the no sex line before it was the fornication cup. Right? Julian, I don't disagree. I don't disagree about Bennett, but we need him to play better. You know what I mean? We do need him to play better. If it doesn't happen until the playoffs, okay, right? I kind of feel bad for Bennett, like I've said, because this is a contract season, and I'm sure that this is not the effort that he wanted to put on the ice during his contract year, right? Hey, thank you, John. Thank you, buddy. Thank you, John. Says we have had an awesome run in backup goalies: Lyon, Stolars, Knight. Don't forget Drieger. Okay, now Vincent, I'll agree there. You said you would trade Erod for Stenlin straight. Yeah. I would do that. I would do that. We can. I hate to do that. I hate to do it, but then again, that keeps us with Nosek too, right? Vincent, my concern with your idea, Vincent, is that they would do that, and then they would just put Nosek in Erod's spot, and he'd still be on the fourth line. But it says, I wonder how Luosterainen would do back at 4C. So the lines would be Barkov, Tkachuk, Reinhart, Bennett for Iggy Samoskevich, Lundell, Boquist, Erod, and then Wright, and then Luosterainen, Greer, and someone. Yeah. Julian says, Jaws Bennett is fine. Now his problem that Tkachuk is coasting. Well, that didn't hurt either. I mean, that didn't help either. You're not wrong there. That's why I like it with Samoskevich, right? Because in case anybody knows, Samoskevich working a hell of a lot harder than Chucky is right now. Sofo says, hopefully the playoffs will earn Bennett a deal. Yeah. Sofo, you forgot Driegs is on the team, right? No, he's in the AHL. It's not gone well. It's not gone well for Drieger right now. Last time I checked his stats, let's see if it's gotten any better. Let's see, what's Drieger doing? Hold on a second. Let me get to his AHL stats. No, AHL, all leagues. Here we go. He's with the Checkers. He's played 16 games. He's got a 3.11 and an 8.80, which it's not fantastic. Hey, Chris Wilson, can the Dolphins front office reach out to the Panthers on how to draft and build talent and win championships? It's the ownership, man. The Dolphins ownership is, and the same thing happened with the Panthers, right? Nothing was getting fixed until the new owners came in. And now look at where we are. Chopper says this team is the second round exit without Erod. I mean, if you add Stenlin, well, I get it. No, Erod's an important piece because he's so versatile. Vincent says, yeah, then send Nosek to Buffalo. We still need a defenseman. You still want a pairing for Mikkola, Vincent? Chucking around says Bennett's going to score the game-winning goal for Canada next month, and he's going to fly away to a Canadian team. Something considers that Bornfoot stats in the AHL were also shit. All right, I can hear that. I can hear that. Kenny says send Crosby and Malcolm to Colorado and watch the Avs late run. Oh no. Well, no, we can't have that. We'll split them, Kenneth. We'll take Crosby, you take Malcolm. All right, that way it's even. We can't send both of them to another team. Forget about it. That's not good. John says Bennett, Verhaeghe, and Bob were major playoff contributors the last 2 playoff years, and we need those 3, especially this year, due to the players we lost. Malkin for no. I like Chopper's got it. What's wrong with that deal? What is wrong with that deal? Malkin for Nosek, right? Julian says Stenlin and Lorentz pretty noticeable. OEL or Montour missing on our power play is also noticeable. Yeah, I noticed somebody else up above it talked about Schmidt not belonging on the top power play. I don't disagree, but with Ekblad out, I might understand what he's doing. And follow me here. With Ekblad out, Balinskis is quicker. And I do believe Balinskis would be better running the first power play. But what that also would do would have Schmidt running the second power play. And I think that's a bad idea. Because you don't have the big guys out there on that second power play defensively. Right? So, like, if it goes wrong because Schmidt screws up, you got Barkov out there, you got Ryan out there, probably got Chucky out there. But if you have Schmidt run the second power play, Bennett, Samoskevich, Verhaeghe, not the same, right? So, Flo says, I just randomly started thinking about what Tyreek Hill's on skates would look like. That's a good question. He's so jacked. He looked funny in a hockey uniform. Who's Ekblad? He's the dude disguised as another dude playing another dude. Julian says, with Eggplant on the power play, it's noticeable. I forgot where they had him. During that president year, Eggplant is the one that right. He had that. Yeah, he was on the 1 T spot. Right. He was at the circle. Right. Chopper. Great White. He's got 1 more year. He's got 1 more year. Bob and Spencer both have 1 more year. So it's going to be an interesting summer. It's going to be interesting as soon as we're done playing, which hopefully is mid-June again or late June again. They're going to probably have to still figure out Bennett, Ekblad, and then we got to decide, are we going into the offseason are we going into next season with both Bob and Spencer on expiring contracts? You guys think Bob will retire, go be a dad? Yeah, it's possible. I had kind of thought maybe he'd want to stay around for a couple more years, but he might not. Chopper says Balinskis for Victor Hedman seems like a perfect deal. I don't want to give up Balinskis. Adam Boquist. I mean, as long as we're in fantasy land, Adam Boquist for Victor Hedman. Huh? Chris Wilson says if Bob wins another cup, he'll retire. I says hire Bob to be the goalie coach. Can you imagine that? They already got Luongo. Imagine that. I mean, I know he's not the coach, but he does work with them. Julian says, I can't envision anyone gone, Jaws, other than Eggplant. Most likely. I mean, most likely, yeah. I mean, if we let Ekblad walk, that solves any financial problems we would have had at all. But Bennett needs to. I hate to say it, but I don't want to say Bennett needs to prove it, but at the same point, it's tough to give a guy a long-term contract if he has a complete down year. He needs to pick it up and at least show us in the playoffs that he's still the same guy. Yeah, Chopper says all I want is Bob to score a goalie goal before he retires, which that almost happened the other night with Spencer Knight. He shot for the goalie. He shot for it, but then it got stopped. And people were leaving the game too. I mean, I get it. I understand the traffic thing, but there's like 2 minutes left. And it was actually like 4 minutes left when people started leaving. And if they would have missed the goalie goal, they would have been pissed off. Pissed. Bob retires when he comes to scout for Russian players. I think he'll want to stay in South Florida, though. Right? I mean, his wife's, you got the kids and the whole thing. So maybe him working with the goalies might not be a bad idea. Although, do the goalie coaches, they have to travel, right? See, if the goalie coaches have to travel, he may not want to do that because the whole point is he might want to be home with the kids. So it says 4 minutes makes a gigantic difference in traffic, up to an hour actually. And the Dietrich says leaving Emmerich is a mess. Yikes. I get it. I get it. Yeah. When Brother Gene and I used to go up to Joe Robbie Stadium, we lived in Ives Estates right off of I-95. We would ride our bike to the California Club Mall and lock up our bikes, and then we would walk up to Joe Robbie Stadium and we'd flip tickets. We would leave the house and we'd have $20 a piece. And we had the little fold-out maps for the Joe Robbie Stadium. And we'd start off and we'd buy seats and sell them and buy them and sell them and buying them and sell them. And most of the time, by the time we got to the game, we'd have 40, 50-yard line seats, and we'd still have our $20 for concessions. It was a good time, man. We had some good times doing it that way, and especially when they went to the Marlins games early on, before they won the World Series. Nobody paid any attention. You buy a nosebleed seat, and by the fifth inning, you're sitting behind a home plate. Nobody cared. Kachuk says it's only a mess if you don't go out the back. No, Joe Robbie Stadium. There's no such thing as Pro Player Stadium. Joe Robbie Stadium. Dietrich says now the apps are mandatory. Right. Yep. I know it, man. Everybody's got to get that money. We had some good times doing that, man. But I mean, Sun Life Stadium, jeez. No, the worst Flying Fluffy Stadium. That's acceptable. That's acceptable, Eyes. Yeah, Pro Player, Sun Life. Wasn't it Land Shark for like a year or two? Land Shark Stadium or something like that. Yeah, BB&T Center. Dietrich said you score some amazing seats that way. Yeah, it's back in it. But what was weird about difficult about doing the scalping is that technically it was illegal. And 95% of the time, nobody ever messed with you. But somehow my uncle managed to get arrested twice for scalping tickets. If you were scalping on walking up, like from California Club Mall all the way towards the stadium, you'd be okay. But if you stood like outside the stadium, it was like, I got two tickets. They had undercover officers that would buy your tickets, arrest you, take the money back, take the tickets, and there was like a little freaking room that they sat you in that I think they let you out after halftime, but they didn't give you your tickets back. But there was no rhyme or reason to how you got caught or who got caught. Bank Atlantic Center. Yeah, Fluffy should have his own stadium. I just want Fluffy to have a picture with the cup. That's all. I guess it'd be all three dogs now having a picture with the cup. How long is the naming deal for Amerant Bank Arena? We should put a bid in to rename it the Ryan Fluffy Arena. I don't know how long that is. It's one of my least favorite. I mean, Amerant Bank. It's like, all right. I miss the days when the stadiums had real names, like the Meadowlands. You want tickets from a scalper to watch the Expos. Yeah. Boy, I remember the Expos. That's right. Yep. It was good times, man. And not everybody had the little printed, like it was just like a little credit card size printed map of the stadium, the seating layout. I know for you guys with phones and everything, it sounds like, yeah, well, of course, duh. But in the 80s, if you had one of those little maps, you was Gandhi. You was the president, man. It's like everybody wanted to have a piece of the action because you didn't just get them all over the place. They would be like giving away like banks and places like that. We'd take stacks of them. We would take stacks of them because you'd lose them at the games and everything. But when you're scalping tickets, the point is when you're scalping the tickets, it was important to know where the seats are because everybody's scalping tickets. No, man, they're on the 50-yard line. No, they're on the 50-yard line. We'd pull out our map. It's like it's on the 10 in the corner in the upper deck. Really? Oh, man, I didn't know that. So then, you talk them down. And, then the next people that bought your, you knew they were on the 15. So we didn't tell them it was on the 50. If they were on the 15, they didn't have a map. We tell them it's about the 30. We weren't too bad about it. And so we keep making a profit until we found somebody. Inevitably, we would find somebody that had 40, 50-yard line seats that didn't know what they had. They had flipped them so many times they didn't even know what they had. And it'd be right before game time, so they'd want to get rid of them cheap. And so we'd end up basically doing it all for free. G-Chuk said, I waited for the game to begin for deals. Yeah, I mean, we would do it real close. But we didn't want to miss anything. And plus, the closer you got, like I said, the closer you got to the stadium, it started to get iffy with the cops. And they would let it go. Like, they would let it go for 2 or 3 games, like nothing would happen. And then all of a sudden, one game, they decide they arrest a bunch of people. It was cheesy the way they did it. Of course, now, freaking hell. The service fees, when I bought the tickets, the service fees for the tickets were more expensive by far than the seats used to be when I used to go to the games that time in my life. Clemson Stadium is called Death Valley. That's nice. Or is it LSU? I says the Panthers Arena should match the team name, like the Panthers Center, wherever Panthers live in the world. Yeah, well, isn't that kind of what they did with the practice facility? Which this is an interesting story. I don't want to make anybody feel bad. So if I'm going to tell a story, so if this particular person is listening, I'm not making fun of you. but I don't know how. But there's somebody that emailed me at Flying Fluffy Hockey that is confused with who I am, and I think they want her. She wants her kids to take skating lessons at my facility. And I'm like, did you mean to message the Panthers? And she was like, yes, I would like to. She's trying to sign up for the, I guess the kids learning how to skate thing. And I'm like, how did you get, you might, are you sure you're emailing the right person? I mean, I know I got the lake is frozen. The pond down there is frozen, but I don't know about I got a little pond. I got, I got a little pond right here on the property. You could probably skate on it. It's probably actually solid enough to skate on it. It's just the, 8-foot pond. It's frozen all the way over. But it says, aren't we the territory like Vegas has the fortress, Pens have the igloo, Devils have the rock? Yeah, but I mean, I miss when the stadiums were like, what was it? Football stadiums mainly, right? It was like the Meadowlands, Orchard Park. I think it's still something like Orchard Park or something. Kachuk says, I got to check out the Iceplex next time we come down. It's pretty sweet. Yeah, that's what I was trying to say, Kachuk, is that for somehow she thinks we're the Iceplex. Either that or I'm being trolled. I don't know. But if you're listening, I'm maybe she thinks I'm affiliated with the team. I don't know. I've got to message her back. I kind of feel bad because she seems very sincere about getting her kids skating lessons. So I'm just wondering how she got my email confused with the Iceplex, right? But yeah, Kachukin, next time we come down, which might be not might be, our plan right now don't ask me how I'm going to pay for this, okay? Because I certainly don't know how I'm going to pay for this. But I didn't know how I was going to pay for the trip that Magda paid for. So there's that. But our plan, fingers crossed, as soon as I win the lottery, is because what we've discovered here is that January sucks. It's 16 degrees. It's cold. I shouldn't need to be here. I can work from anywhere other than the eBay stuff. So we're going to try to take January and get an Airbnb down close to the arena and have a working vacation and stay down there for a month, the month of January. That's the goal. Can I pull it off? I don't know. Probably $10,000 for an Airbnb down there for a whole month. So I don't know. Maybe I'll sucker somebody into being a sponsor. You know what I mean? But that's what we're hoping to do next January. The only problem with that is that can't stream from the games if we're at the games. So we can't go to every game. You know what I mean? Because we still got to stream. But that's the kind of the goal so that we can hang out and relax and it won't be so rushed. Because last time it was just so rushed. And there's, I grew up down there. I want to show Kyle a bunch of the places and meet people and everything. I says, can I write off the Florida trip as a business? Oh yeah, it's getting written off. Yeah. Well, I mean, I didn't pay for the flights and everything like that, so I don't have those receipts. But like the hockey tickets and everything else, yeah, no, it all gets written off. Yep. Great White says, Jonathan, I hear you say Forsling gets a goal number 8 on Saturday. Did I say that? When did I say that? Oh, eyes. It went well. You probably will start seeing ads. What's today? Today's Wednesday, right? Close to a week. Because I got to put the ad together. We got to approve it. It's going to be a separate ad. It's going to be I'm going to place it it's going to be in almost every video. It's going to be in the live streams. It'll be a commercial break in the live streams. And in the recap, it'll be after the pregame. So I'm not going to interrupt the flow of the actual game. So it'll be intro, fight song, pregame, commercial, and then the game. Because I got to do it. I really didn't want to put ads in those videos, but I got to eat. And this could be a pretty lucrative thing, but it has to be something for it to work. It needs to be something that I'm, continuously putting it in. Chucky says, I manage a TV production studio in North Miami if you want to shoot content or stream. Oh, all right. All right. Yeah, I appreciate that. Yeah, I might take you up on that depending on where we end up staying and everything. That sounds like a good idea. Maybe we can sucker some of the players into thinking I'm actually a professional, right? And get them to come do interviews. I mean, like I didn't even have time to reach out to Randy or Billy or anything like that. So we're hopeful. I mean, it's a pipe dream. You know what I mean? But you guys kept asking me, when am I coming down to Florida? And I just kept saying, whenever a miracle happens and the money shows up, and then Magda messaged me, right? So I'm just going to put it out there that that's what we want to do. And I suppose if it's meant for me to do that, somehow money will show up. Right? Heck, it's a trap, Craig. Yeah. Right? Okay, Kachuckin. I appreciate that. Yeah, that's our hope. And I probably, for a few of the days, I probably would have Matthias with me because he was kind of disappointed he couldn't come on this trip. So I know he doesn't want to be away from his mother for a whole month, but probably a week, probably 5 days to a week, he would want to be with us. So because he was disappointed. I said next time. I promised him the next time I go down there that he could come. So I can't break that promise. Did I see Brady Kachuk fight Igor? No. Was this last night? See, that's what I need to be going to Twitter for, so I get material like that. I'm going to be starting the skits again, by the way. I got to get a Canadians hat. I was going to start them because I want to start doing some skits based on the race for the 8 seed, but I don't have a Canadians hat, and they're kind of a key component right now. So I ordered a Canadians hat, and I'll be here soon. And then once it's here, I'll have hats for all the Eastern Conference teams or jerseys or both. And then I can start the skits back up again. Igor went after Brady, and then Rampage jumped into, man, I got to see that. That sounds like fun. Telling you, man, it's gonna get nasty here these last 2 months of the season. I mean, let's look at the standings again. So where are we today? Because it changes every day. We're 6 points. Well, we're 3 points behind the Leafs. Same number of games. 6 points ahead of the Lightning. They got 2 games in hand. Then Senators at 52, Canadians at 52, and Jackets at 51. The Rangers are at 50. The Flyers are at 50. The Penguins are 48. The Islanders are 45. They're a little bit faded. But, I mean, hell, you look at the Senators and the Canadians. I mean, it's not big leads, right? I mean, the Lightning are a couple. I mean, one team. I mean, even the Panthers. If they went on a 4 or 5 game losing streak, any of these teams could be out. Hey, thank you, John. Thank you, John. Much appreciated, bud. Hamburger Hut. Aliens landed at Ron John last night. Outstanding. Hello, Natalia. That's on Twitch, right? You're on Twitch, right? Yeah. We don't get very many Twitch viewers, so I appreciate it. The wild card race in the East is more competitive than. Oh yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. I mean, it's so crazy. I can do when I do the skits, I can even include the Islanders and Sabres because the Sabres are pretty far out. I mean, the Islanders are only 7 points out. They got a couple games in hand. I mean, it's nuts. What the hell happened to Tampa? See, they lost a couple games in a row, and they're Tampa's one bad week from being out of a playoff spot. Wouldn't that be something else if the Canadians, because the Bruins are out for now. No, they're tied. 52-52. Wow. Lightning 53. Canadians 52. Bruins 52. Senators 52. Bruh. That's crazy. Yeah, and the Caps are ahead of everybody else. That's fine. Let the Caps have the top. Let them. I ain't worried about it. Right? Plus, if they win, if we end up with the Eastern Conference Finals, Panthers at Capitals, guess who's only a couple of hours away from Washington? You see what I'm saying? I don't know how I'm going to get there. I don't know how I'm going to pay for it. That don't matter. I just show up at the arena and I don't know. We'll figure it out. I'm not missing the Eastern Conference Championship game if they play the Capitals. I'll find a way in the damn building, right? I'll apply for a press pass. Yeah. That should go well. Huh? That should go well. What are they going to do? Tell me no? You know what I mean? It's like, of course they're going to say no, but I do it. I would frame the rejection letter. I'll put the rejection letter up in a frame, right? So, yeah, let the Caps do it. What else is going on in that division? I said after the Rue, Great White, I think Talk to Tex gotcha. Talk to Tex gotcha, buddy. Yeah, the Capitals are just that far ahead of everybody else. Hurricanes at 61, Devils at 58, and then Jackets 51, Rangers at 50, Flyers at 50, Penguins. My God, that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 teams within 6 points. 9 teams within 6 points of the 8th seed. That is crazy. That is absurd. I mean, that is just too much. It's going to be hell. It is absolutely going to be hell, man. Tell them I reject their rejection letter. Oh, my God. That's hysterical. All right, everybody. I'm going to run today 1 o'clock because that's not crazy. That's hockey. I know, Eyes. I love it. That's going to do it for today. Go to work as a nacho cheese distributor. I had a friend when I was in middle school. His dad was a distributor for one of the chip companies like Frito-Lay or something. And he had the big van with all the chips and the open doors. And we used to, I was in a soccer league with his son, Sanford Lefkowitz. And his dad would pick me up at the house to take us to the soccer games, the travel games and all of that. And we'd sit in the back of the chip truck and he'd have all the stale and leftover chips that were out of date in a big garbage bin. And we'd sit there before and after the games, and there'd be like 6 kids in the back of the truck just terrorizing all the damn chips, man. It was a good time. All right, everybody. Appreciate all the support. Thank you for all the super chats. 10 o'clock, people. Get your naps in. Get your naps. I'm going to warm up. I'm going to put one of my other heaters in the basement so I'm not frozen tonight. Yeah, I'm going to take a nap. No joke. All right, everybody. We'll see you tonight at 10. We'll figure out how to watch the game. Apparently, it's TNT, but it's not on Fubo. We'll figure it out. Hey, thank you, Great White. Thank you, bud. Hey, no more talk to text. Screw this. Thank you, Great White. I appreciate it, buddy. All right, everybody. We'll see you tonight at 10. 10, 10, 10, 10, 10. Oh, man, you got HBO Max? All right. Call me.